What's up, everybody? This is Dr. Zeb, and welcome to the Rehab Christian Center Tuesday night virtual experience. We call Bible study life study, and I am glad to be here with you tonight virtually. And thank you so much for tuning in and joining us tonight. Very powerful lesson and series we're going to continue tonight and finish tonight. And I appreciate you overlooking my snafu last week. I think we talked about impatience, and I was really just led to teach on that, and I'm glad I did. So much great feedback and responses this week in my inboxes about that message on impatience, and I know a lot of people really needed it. But I do want to continue and wrap up this series on mental maintaining a healthy headspace. This is so important. I'm having so many conversations with so many people in so many different sectors about the critical importance of maintaining a healthy headspace and making sure that you feel good mentally. And so we're going to deal with this tonight, and I think it's going to be helpful. I'm going to finish up this series tonight because if you would recall, we use this series as an opportunity for me to give you five ways you can be in a better mental solid state, or five ways you can be in a more solid mental state. All right. And we gave you that, and we walked through ways 1 through 3 in parts 1 and 2. So tonight I'm going to walk through ways 4 through 5, and we're going to go through there. But before I get into all of that, let's welcome the networks really quickly. I want to get right into the lesson, get off the lesson. I'm going to eat, and I've got a few hours of work ahead of me. So it's going to be a long night, but it's good to be with you tonight. And thank you again so much for your flexibility. I'm pleased to say that tonight is my son's last basketball practice on his 9-10 team. He's playing 7 and 8 as well as playing 2 leagues. And so when we come back for life study, we should be able to resume at regular time. And so thank you so much just for your patience and for allowing me to be a dad and really do what I need to do to make sure that my kids are taken care of. And just really appreciate that. And excited to get back to the earlier time. I'll be honest with you, because I'm exhausted on Tuesdays. Practice and work, and sell 2 practices, 4 practice, then get right here, cook, and right into teaching. It's a lot. Pastors need to maintain a healthy headspace. But I really just appreciate your patience and everything. So start sharing the networks. Let's walk through it really quickly. Facebook, good evening to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Those of you that are tuned in via Facebook, thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you are watching on Facebook, do me a favor. I want you to like this video. If you really love this content, I want you to hold down the like button, turn it to a love button, hit the share button, hit the @ symbol, and tag 5 of your friends and tell them to tune in tonight. All right. Would you do that in that order? If you're on Facebook, as you share the video, as you like the video, it increases the opportunity for other people to see it, which in turn increases our ability to impact more people through the word. And so I want you to share this video, like this video, love this video, share it with as many people as you can. Tell them that the Rehab Christian Center Tuesday night virtual life study experience is on the air. And I'm excited to teach this word tonight with you or to you, maintaining a healthy headspace. It's going to be powerful, and I'm excited. All right. Instagram, good evening to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Those of you that are tuned in via Instagram, welcome. Do me a favor, fill it up with hearts. Let me know that you are tuned in. And then also, Instagram, I want you to hit that @ symbol if you haven't already. I see Elder Misty's done it. I want you to hit that @ symbol, tag 5 people, tell them to tune in tonight for this very exciting message. I want you to invite 5 people. I need everybody on all of our networks to invite 5 people. We invite people to virtual service by hitting that @ symbol and tagging them. I want you to invite 5 people now and tell them to tune in. This is going to be a powerful message. I've been giving you 5 ways you can maintain solid mental health. And we shout in church, we run in church, we pass out in church, we do all of this stuff in church, we give money in church. But so rarely do people really take the time to talk about your mental well-being. And it's so important. God doesn't want you to just prosper. He wants you to prosper and be in good health. And that includes your mental stability. That includes how you feel mentally and emotionally. Those things are so important. And so I'm excited to teach this message tonight, and so grateful that you've tuned in. Thank you again, Instagram. Again, love the video. Hit the @ symbol, tag 5 people. Tell our late church to come on. All right. And then finally, YouTube. Those of you that are tuned in via YouTube, good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining via our YouTube channel. If you are on YouTube, or if you have not liked our YouTube channel or subscribed to our channel, you can subscribe at TheREHABCC. Just simply go to YouTube, type in the search bar, TheREHABCC, and then hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification icon so you can be notified every time we are live on YouTube. And you can also go back and look at an archive of all of our messages that have been streamed there. And we promise you that will bless you. I listen to talk empowerment stuff every single day. I listen to music too, but I listen to a lot of talking and teachings and tapings on a variety of different topics, not just religious things, a variety of different things. And it's so important that we deposit the right things inside of us so that we can continue to grow and be everything that we've been called to be and more. And so I want to challenge you, if you're looking for some content to listen to as you work out, as you walk, as you work, whatever you do, subscribe to our channel on YouTube, hit that bell notification icon so you can be notified every time we have new content. And I promise you, you will find it to be helpful to you. All right, let's get into it. I'm ready to teach. And I'm going to get us out of here in about 40 minutes. I'm going to try my best to get us out of here in 40 minutes flat, because I only have two more things or ways to talk about tonight. But we are talking about maintaining a healthy headspace. I want you to put that in the comments tonight. You're going to take notes for those people that are tuned in that cannot do that, and those people that are watching the replay. Now, maintaining a healthy headspace. We are dealing with part 3 tonight. And again, when we started this series a few weeks ago, it was my goal to give you 5 ways to maintain a solid mental health. All right. 5 ways to maintain solid mental health was my goal. Now, I'm going to give you ways 1 through 3. I'm going to walk back through ways 1 through 3. I'm not going to overview them. I'm just going to state what they are so you can record them. I want my moderators to try to catch all of these ways if you can, so that I can then pick up with way 4 and 5 and conclude the series tonight. All right. This has just been a very powerful series. Make sure you share this video if you haven't already. All right. So we're talking about 5 ways you can maintain solid mental health. Way number 1 that I gave you was this: take responsibility for what you can control and nothing else. All right. Way number 1 was take responsibility for what you can control and nothing else. All right. Take responsibility for what you can control and nothing else. All right. Nothing else. Take responsibility for what you can control and nothing else. We talked about wearing things that don't belong to us, carrying things that don't belong to us, carrying burdens that don't belong to us. All right. So I want to challenge you. The first and easy way to begin to shift your mental well-being and mental health is to start taking responsibility only for what you can control. That's it. Stop worrying about situations you can't control. Lord knows, stop worrying about Negroes you can't control. Stop worrying about other environments you can't control. Stop worrying about people you can't control. Only control what you can control. Take responsibility for that and nothing else. All right. That was number 1. Way number 2, never make the moment bigger than what it is. All right. Never make the moment, whatever the moment is, never make the moment bigger than what it is, right? We talked about the term catastrophizing. If you were tuned in, all right, catastrophizing simply means to exaggerate something into a feeling of it being worse than what it really is, right? Right. When you say it's raining cats and dogs, that's an easy example of catastrophizing. Literally, cats and dogs ain't falling out the air. Right. But when you say it's raining cats and dogs, you are catastrophizing. You're taking a situation and explaining it, describing it, feeling it, embracing it as bigger than what it is. Right. And so when we do that, we tend to wear stress. We tend to wear worry, concern, anxiety, all of those things. Take those things and really put it on situations that might be stressful, that might be worrisome, but we make it worse than what it is. Right. So never make the moment bigger than what it is. We got to take things for what they are, accept things for what they are, and don't make them what they're not. All right. And when you do that, you minimize the stress level that oftentimes we take when we embrace those things. All right. Way number 3. Man, I'm running through ways 1 through 3 really quickly, and then I'm going to walk you through ways 4 and 5, and we're done. Way number 3 is this: allow tough times to reveal the truth about who you are. Allow tough times to reveal the truth about who you are, right? Third way, we can live in a better mental headspace is to allow tough times to reveal the truth about who we are, right? We talked about allowing ourselves to go through difficult moments and sit in those moments, right? One of the things I try to encourage people and coach people to understand is one of the worst things you can do with your emotions is try to pass them off, right? And that's any emotion, especially the negative ones. When you try to pass off negative emotions and don't embrace the negative emotions you feel, what you end up doing is building up a volcano, right? You know, volcanoes only erupt every couple of hundred of years, right? And so anytime we suppress our emotions or how we feel, especially those negative emotions, it is like packing a volcano, right? And it packs and it sits in there, and you do it. But eventually in time, that volcano is going to explode. And when it does, by the way, when a volcano explodes, you just don't see a little bit. It explodes and it wipes out everything in its path. And that's what happens when we hold things in. And so we've got to allow tough times to reveal the truth about us, right? The reality is when you go through difficult moments, tough times, it's going to tell a lot about who you are, your character, your toughness, your determination, your grit, your maturity, your emotional stability, your tolerance for pain. It's all of these things that it will tell us a lot about when we go through tough times. And so you got to allow tough times to do its job. Allow tough times to run its course and really embrace what tough times reveal about us, right? The things that tough times reveal about us, you should really embrace that, right? Don't try to compress it. Don't try to suppress it, but really embrace that because it really reveals to us who we are. Difficult moments, almost always, for good or for bad, they almost always reveal to us who we are, all right? And so don't ever lose the opportunity to not see that. Now, let's get into it. I'm going to give you ways 4 and 5 that you can maintain solid mental health, and I'm done. All right. Way number 4 is this. I want you to record this. You're going to be the smartest person at the water cooler on tomorrow and for the rest of the week. All right. Way number 4 is this. Take practical steps to resolve your problems. All right. I want you to take practical steps to resolve your problems. All right. Take practical steps to resolve your problems. I'm going to give you a scripture reference here. James chapter 2. Not going to read all of this. This is way too much to read. James chapter 2, verse 14 through 26. James chapter 2, verse 14 through 26. Take practical steps to resolve your problems. I love the writer James because he's practical. If there's anybody in the Bible that I really, really enjoy reading his readings, it's James. He's practical. You read the book of James, he holds no punches. He tells you what it is. He tells you what it ain't. He tells you what you are and what you ain't. And he tells everybody about themselves. James is right to the point in his writings. And one of the things you will notice about the book of James, especially this text, chapter 2, verse 14 through 16, he talks about this thing about faith and works, right? Faith and good deeds. And he, in essence, breaks this down to a practical way that we can understand. And he is saying it's one thing, and I'm just paraphrasing. Go back and read the text, all right? If you don't believe me, go back and read the text, please. By all means, whether you believe me or not, still go back and read it. But what James is, in essence, saying is talking about the practicality of faith, right? And he's saying it's one thing for you to have faith in God. It's another thing for you to do something. It's one thing for you to have faith in God, but it's another thing for you to do something. And he takes it further than that. He says, listen, you can have all the faith you want, but if you got faith and you ain't doing nothing, your faith is dead. He says, faith without works, right? That's the version you've read. I'm just paraphrasing this in English. Faith without works is dead. In other words, you can believe God can heal you. You can believe God gonna give you a job. You can believe God gonna pay your bills. But you got to have some works too, which means you got to eat better. Which means if you want the job, you got to fill out an application. Which means if you believe he's going to pay your bills, you got to fix your credit. Come on, virtual church, talk back to me, right? And so James was practical, and he gave a practical prescription that says, in essence, and I want you to record this, faith doesn't even count if your actions aren't involved. Oh, this is going to try some of y'all tonight. Faith doesn't even count if your actions aren't involved. What you saying, Red? I'm saying you can believe God all day, but if you don't do nothing while you believe in him, your faith is limited. Now, I'm not saying to you, you have to do God's job. I'm not telling you to do God's job, but James says here really clearly that faith without actions or works is dead. So it's one thing to say, and I like this. Somebody's saying, I got to stop spending to be a millionaire. Right. It's one thing to say, hey, I really want, God to pay my bills or make me rich. Listen, he can do that. Believe, have the faith that he can do that. But my question is, what you going to do to help? And when I say help, I don't mean help God do his job. I mean, what you going to do? What are you going to put in motion with your faith to help make this thing happen? Yes, I want him to pay my bills. I want to be debt free. But the way to become debt free is to fix your credit and start paying your bills on time. And so James gives us this, and we can make this connect to mental health. When we think about our mental awareness and how mentally strong and stable we are, it's one thing to believe that God can give you peace and rest. I'm going to get in trouble right here. It's one thing to believe that God can give you peace and he can give you rest. But you know what sometimes you got to do? Sometimes you got to take practical steps to resolve some of this stress that you're under. Sometimes you got to take practical steps to resolve some of these feelings and emotions that you're experiencing that life is handing you, which means sometimes you got to go to dinner and cut your phone off. God, I need you to make me feel better about this day I had at work. And then what you do? You go to the dinner table and sit your phone right on the table. The same phone you've been cussing folk out on all day, that's been getting on your nerves at work, and you set it right at the table and you eating, and what happens? It starts ringing, it starts dinging, and you trying to just have a meal in peace and wondering why you can't get peace. You still got to cut your phone off. You can believe God gonna give you some mental peace and some rest while you're sitting at the table to have dinner, but the action, cut your phone off. That way, you got to worry about it ringing, get it out your face. You can eat your food in peace, and you can get to your peaceful place a little bit faster. I like that. D&D. Put it on do not disturb. Do something. Apple, if you're team Apple, which I hope you are, if you're team Apple, Apple even has this thing that allows your phone to be silenced at certain times. You can set that up. I think it's a brilliant thing because people can't even find rest and peace because their phone is connected to their head, right? And so we then say things like, we want God to help with our focus. We want God to help us, give us peace and rest. But then you go everywhere with your phone. You sitting on the toilet with your phone in your hand. That's why phones are some of the nastiest things that you got, because your phone's sitting with you on the toilet. It's everywhere you go, and you're wondering why you don't have peace. So the action part of this is, yes, the faith is say, God, give me peace. Give me peace in my struggles, my relationships, my job, my health, whatever I'm dealing with. But then teach me practical ways where I can encourage peace in my own life. Cut the phone off. Sometimes you don't need to go on a trip with all the girls, all the guys. Sometimes you need to get away by yourself so you can clear your head. Right. Sometimes you do need to be prayed for, without a doubt. In fact, prayer never hurts. But sometimes you need to go talk to somebody who can talk to you about your problems. See, that's the practical stuff that we've got to encourage people. Those are the practical steps that we've got to encourage people to take so that they can address difficult situations in their lives in a real way. We just think that you're going to shout over stuff, go to church, the pastor going to pray for you, and you're going to feel better. And that's all great, and God can do it, and I have faith that he can do it. But the practical part of that, the works part of that is go see a therapist. I had to undress somebody today, not undress somebody, a friend of mine reached out and sent a message on TikTok to me about yoga. She had a really good question. Is yoga of the devil? Yoga is not of the devil. I don't have time to deal with this. Okay. Yoga can be traced to Buddhism and some other religions because of the pose itself, and because of what they call the ums that people do. When people are doing yoga, some people are doing ums or chants. That's what connects that to some religions. But yoga doesn't have to happen with that. All right. You can to do yoga simply means to stretch and relax. Right. You can do yoga without all the chanting and all of that stuff, and relax your body and relax your muscles and use that as a form of therapy and a form of relaxation. Y'all stop over spiritualizing everything. Everything ain't the devil and everything ain't God. Look at it, ain't a like. The comments quiet. I'm losing y'all. It's the truth. Everything ain't the devil and everything ain't God. Y'all stop that, right? These are things that you can do practically. Working out is a practical thing that you can do every day to help with your health. Instead of walking around coming to the church, you see, we good at doing this. I'm going to get in trouble right here, but especially the black church. You know what we do? Not to get in trouble. You know what the black church do? Y'all know what we do? We say, yeah, the Lord going to heal you. And the pastor slap oil on you, you fall out at the church, you do all that stuff, and then what we do? There's a repast downstairs. Guilty. We get rehab guilty. Rehab. I wish Bunch was on the line. We rehab guilty. We didn't prayed over you. The Lord gonna heal you. Slapped oil on you. Hey, and then they come do announcements. There's gonna be a repast after church for everybody. Come down and enjoy all this free food. And when you get down the line, what they got? Cupcakes, fried chicken, mac and cheese. Oh, y'all not talking to me. It's the truth. We do it, right? And so we even as believers have to be conscious about these things. Now, look, I'm not trying to put y'all in prison. Nobody likes food more than me. Yeah, I'm skinny, but I tell people all the time, skinny fat. I love to eat. I love to eat, and I have to work out the way I do so I can maintain the shape and physique that I got. Because I got to stay young and fit for as long as I can. For my kiddos, I got to do it. But I love to eat. But this is something I've even had to rest myself on. It's one thing to ask God to heal your body. It's another thing for you to be in church, laying folk out, you preach and praying folk, doing all this stuff, and then you leave and go to cookout and get a double. God gonna heal my body, and you wiping mayonnaise off the side of your mouth. Right? Is that practical? No, it's faith. The faith part is I believe. The practicality is go get a salad. The practicality is go eat better. Even if you don't do it every day, try to make a conscious effort. There's 7 days out of the week. Try to make a conscious effort to eat well 4 to 5 days out of those 7. I have this thing where Monday through half day Saturday, I try to stick to eating well. I might slip up and grab one of the kids' fries every now and then, do something like that. Or if I take them out to eat during the weekday, we might go somewhere on an off night. But they'll tell you, I got my salad sitting in there waiting right now. I'm starving. But Monday through half a day Saturday, I try to eat right. And then half a day Saturday, all day Sunday, I eat what I want. I will have worked out 7 times this week. I work out Monday through Friday and twice on Saturday. So it's about being practical and being disciplined and saying, yeah, I believe God can heal me. But what am I doing? What am I doing to position myself to be healed? Yes, he can make me debt free. What am I doing to position myself to be debt free? Right? So this is where the practicality comes. So I want to challenge all of you. If you really want to read the entire book of James, chapter 2. Well, read the entire book of James, all 5 chapters, but especially chapter 2. This is a powerful chapter where he talks about faith, and he tells these people, listen, y'all walk around talking about faith and all this stuff, but what you doing? James was the guy talking about that would be like, y'all talking about you believe God do all this stuff, but you won't get out the hamburger line. Right? I'm going to get in trouble when I say this. Now, Lord, this is going to be bad. Do I believe God can heal your body without medicine? I do. I believe I know it. I've seen him do it. I'm a living witness. He's done it for me. God can heal your body without medicine. I have zero doubt about that. Okay. If you talk to some of your parents, your grandparents, great grandparents, they will tell you back in the day at the church, they didn't even believe in doing things like calling the ambulance. People would get sick in church, they wouldn't call the ambulance. The preachers would come out, the elders would come out, they would lay hands on folk and folk would get up. This is a fact. I'm not telling you something I heard. This is something I've seen. This is something that's been told to me time and time and again. I've been told time and time again, seen time and time again. That's the truth. They didn't believe in dialing 911 back in the old church. And that's because those people had a different level of faith. Now, it doesn't mean that if you call 911 today, you don't have faith, right? I'm not implying that. But what I am saying is that this generation's level of faith versus the level of faith of our ancestors are not the same. Now, here's where that generation messed up. And this is where I'm gonna get in trouble. Here's where the generation messed up. They had the faith, and they had the faith to pray you through and get you off the floor. Here's the problem. When you got off the floor, you went to the kitchen and you ate greasy chicken. You didn't change your diet. The same folk that was praying over us, a lot of them were overweight and obese. Y'all don't like, I know. Y'all don't like this kind of thing. We're overweight, obese, had blood pressure issues, sugar, diabetes issues, had all of these hypertension, all of these types of issues, but they had faith. And their faith, in spite of those things, kept them alive a long time. But here's the thing. If they would have added some practicality to their lives back then, just imagine how much longer they could have possibly lived. I know y'all don't like this. Y'all think I'm demon possessed. Listen, y'all. Listen, y'all. We are all, Mother Doris, it ain't just you. We're all guilty of eating the wrong things. And I'm not telling you to be no troll because Pastor ain't. If you catch Pastor in the restaurant on the weekend, you're not going to see a salad on his plate. You know why? Because I eat salads during the week. Right? I do no carbs during the week. I do that stuff during the week. On my cheat day, half day, Saturday and Sunday, I don't know if y'all saw on my story this weekend, I went and got 4 whole cupcakes. I went and got 4 whole cupcakes from this nice bakery down here. 4 of them. By the end of the night Saturday, 2 of them was gone. Okay, so Pastor's not standing in a glass house throwing rocks. All right, Pastor on his cheat day, he eats, and then on Sunday he eats, and then Monday I burn it all off, and I burn it throughout the rest of the week, and I start over. Okay, so I'm not saying you got to be a hermit or a troll, but what I am saying, y'all, is we need to apply some practicality to our faith. It's one thing for God to heal us, and that's just the easiest example I can come up with, because again, we give credit to the older church because of their faith. But where they lacked was in their practicality. And I really believe that if the practicality was there, it would have really changed a lot, not only for the people that we missed and that have left us over the years, but frankly for our culture as a people. And I'm aware of that. I'm aware that embedded in our culture is food and the appreciation for good food. Y'all say what y'all want to. And this ain't no knock on no other races. I don't care if I get in trouble saying this. Ain't no knock on no other races. Black folk cook, man. We cook, right? We cook. I got cooks, members of the Church of the Cook Bunch and Elder Misty in the mix now. I never even knew Elder Misty cooked like this until we went in the pandemic, right? You know, we got folk, black folk cook. Like we cook, we eat, and we eat, all right? So a lot of this is embedded in our culture, this appreciation for food and those things, but we got to be really careful. In everything, moderation, right? To do things in moderation is the key. And when you do it in moderation, then yeah, you can have faith, you can have some practicality, you can have some balance, and you can enjoy Mother Doris your salads. But every now and then, Mother Doris, I got to get her a seafood boil somehow if I got to go pay for it. But every now and then, we got to get Mother Doris some crab legs. We got to get her some crab legs so she can eat her crab legs, right? You can do that in moderation when you balance it out, right? When you balance faith with practicality, right? And I know people hear that. The deep saints believe that, you don't need no practicality, you got faith. What James say? Faith without what is dead? Without works, without practicality. Right? So y'all stop that, all right? And let's live this thing balanced so that we can see better results in our lives. I hope this is making sense. Number 5, number 5, and then I'm done. Here's the 5th way you can maintain a healthy headspace, and it's this. Record this. Good. Record this. Embrace the bigger picture of everything you go through. I want you to embrace the bigger picture of everything you go through, right? When we're talking about maintaining a good, healthy headspace, I want you to maintain or embrace rather the bigger picture of everything you go through. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 6 through 8, all right? In fact, let's go back further than that. I'm not going to read this. I want you to record 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 5 through 11, all right? 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 5 through 11. I'm sorry, that's my mistake. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 5 through 11. Embrace the bigger picture of everything you go through, right? I like this because Peter talks about this and he says, listen, you're going to go through some different things, but the key to coming out of this is being humble, right? Go through what you go through and look for the bigger picture of the other side. Listen, y'all, in everything we experience in life, there's a lesson. There's a lesson. I don't get nervous about going through things. All of us going to go through something. I faced some things over this pandemic that I never thought I would face, that I never thought I would have to go through, deal with. All of us are going to go through something. But what makes me nervous is when people don't learn lessons when they go through. Because anything you go through that you do not learn the lesson from, you're bound to repeat it. I don't care what it is. If you go through anything in your life and you don't learn the lesson from it, you're going to repeat it. You bound to repeat. And I know that to be true because some of us went through things, we learned the lessons and we still repeated it. Come on, Zion. Am I talking to anybody tonight who actually went through a lesson? You learned or went through an experience. You learned the lesson. You cried over it, learned the lesson, and still like a doofus turned around, like me, like a doofus turned around and went through it again. Okay, so if we went through a lesson and if we went through an experience and learned the lesson and still repeated it, those of you that's going through stuff that ain't learning the lesson, you ain't got no choice but to repeat it. So everything you go through, everything you deal with, there's always a bigger picture on the other side. And our job is to learn the lesson, the greater lesson in the things that we deal with. Right? Learn the greater lesson in the things that you deal with. If you learn the greater lesson in the things you deal with, I'm telling you, you're going to come out of this thing stronger, more firm, more powerful, with more wisdom, right? And with better mental clarity, right? Because the only things that really irk me mentally is when I go through situations and I have not seen the bigger picture of what I'm going through, right? Because then when I don't see the bigger picture of what I'm going through, then what I'm dealing with feels like a mystery to me, right? It feels like operating, I don't know if I'm making sense explaining it this way, but it feels like you're almost operating in the unknown when you're going through something and you don't know why you're going through what you're going through. Now, hear me, you're not going to always understand the why as you go through it. We'll understand it better by and by. That's one of the most true hymns you will ever sing because some things you don't understand until way after the fact. Some situations you go through don't make sense until way after the fact. In fact, some situations you go through and people have to be dead and gone before you even understand it, right? So it's not about understanding things as you go through as much as it is seeking clarity while you're in it, right? Because it is your ability to seek clarity while you are in things that will cause you to have some mental peace about it, right? That will cause you to have some mental peace about what you're dealing with. So one easy way we do that is by looking at the bigger picture. right? Look at the bigger picture. Try to find ways, and this is practical advice that I give a lot of my counseling and coaching clients. Try to find ways. If you're going through a job loss, you've lost your job that you were on for 20 years and you don't know how you're going to make ends meet and what you're going to do next. It's one thing to dwell on the loss, the position being let go, you being terminated, whatever happened. It's one thing for you to dwell on that. It's another thing for you to take a step back and say, what can I learn from this experience that's going to prepare me for the next position? That's going to prepare me for the next career. That's going to prepare me for the next adventure in my work. When you take that perspective, then all of a sudden you take the zap out of the sting of disappointment. You take the zap out of the sting of heartache. You take the zap out of the sting of letdown, and you shift that energy towards what's going to happen in the future, the bigger points that you should be gaining from it, the bigger lessons you should be learning from it, right? And we sometimes just get so caught up in the weeds, right? We get so caught up in the hurt and so caught up in the pain and so caught up in what we're dealing with that we don't take a step back and look at the bigger picture and ask ourselves, what is the lesson I can learn from this? What is the lesson I can pull from this? What is the lesson I can glean from this? And when you do that, you will find yourself not being caught up in the small, minute weeds, details of what you're dealing with and saying, yeah, I'm dealing with job loss, but here's the greater lesson. Yeah, I'm dealing with the messed up relationship. Here's the greater lesson. Yeah, I'm dealing with financial struggle. Here's the greater lesson. And when you look for the greater lesson, it makes your ability to go through what you're going through a whole lot easier. Does that make sense? Right? When you look at the larger picture of what you're dealing with, it makes your ability to go through what you're going through a whole lot easier. Why? Because you are focused on the larger picture. You got to focus on the larger picture. Focus on the larger picture at hand. Don't pay attention to the trees. Pay attention to the forest, right? You're going to look up. You're going to look out. You're not going to look down, right? Don't pay attention to the trees. Pay attention to the forest so that, again, as you go through difficult times, and you are, as you go through difficult moments, and you are, you won't be trapped in the valley of the shadow of death, right? And I don't have time to really break down that verse, what David was writing, but I got a revelation on this. When he talks about, yea, though I go walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. It's simple. People who are in the valley of the shadow of death fear evil because they just focus in the place where they are. They don't see the bigger picture. And that is sometimes you got to go through the valley in order to come out. And I ain't got time to really deal with this revelation, but I caught a really good revelation of that, right? People die in the valley of the shadow of death because they allow the shadow to overwhelm them. Not death, but the threat of it. Not you being able to pay your bills, but the threat of you not being able to pay your bills drives your blood pressure high. Not you losing your job, but the threat of them reducing your hours and the implications of that causes you to die in the valley of the shadow of death. Elder, this is a word that's going over everybody's head. So what David really meant is, don't let the shadow kill you. It's Tuesday, y'all. Do y'all want a Tuesday word? Don't let the shadow kill you. I tell you what, I might just teach that Sunday and make you shout in your living room. Don't let the shadow kill you. And that's what happens when we allow things to mentally overwhelm us. When things mentally overwhelm us, it is the threat of what could be that destroys us. And we lose sight of the bigger picture. You can't let the shadow kill you. You ain't walking through death. You walking through the shadow of it. Which means you are walking through the appearance of what might be, even though it's really not. And y'all, I can't tell you how many people have allowed the shadow of something to kill them. Have allowed the threat of something. I got to stop. Let me just wrap this up. This bless anybody tonight. I'm telling you, man, I'm going to cut that off. That's a word. That's a whole word. Elder, I'm about to lose. That's a whole word. And I'm going to deal with it Sunday. Don't let the shadow kill you. Some of y'all, I almost wish I was in the building for that one because that's ear hold, oh, hold your ear worthy right there. Some of y'all letting the shadow stuff kill you, and I'm gonna deal with that Sunday. This bless anybody. These 5 ways bless anybody. Let me pray. 8:48. I'm doing great on time. I can't believe it. I might actually get out on time. This bless anybody tonight. I had to cut this off because I knew where this was going. Um, this is one of the most favorite. Well, this is one of my most favorite lessons that I've taught, series that I've taught, right? Because this thing on mental, you're maintaining your headspace and being in a good place of mental clarity is so important. It's something I experienced, something I had to live through. And I really took my mental health and well-being very seriously over the last 2 years. And it's paid tremendous dividends. I feel great. From a clarity standpoint, I feel mentally clear. And this is in spite of just so many different challenges I've had to face personally, professionally, in all kinds of different spaces of my life. And so I want you to take the same effort, put the same effort towards your mental clarity. It's so important so that you don't allow life to overwhelm you. You don't allow situations, circumstances to overwhelm you. But that is so that you position yourself really, frankly, to be the best version of you at all times. I want to pray for you. If you got a prayer request, I want you to type it in the comments really quickly. I'm giving you 30 seconds. Wow. I'm giving you 30 seconds, but I want to pray for you. I want to pray over your prayer request. I want to pray over your situation, whatever it is that you're dealing with. Yes, I'm up 4:40, 4:45 in the morning. I'm up. I pray over your prayer request. And I want to pray over you. Many of you are mentally overwhelmed. I see that, Sister Benita. So good to see you tonight. Many of you are overwhelmed. Many of you are going through difficult moments in your life, your family. You're experiencing difficult things with your family, your health, your career, your relationships, your marriage, whatever. And I want you to know I'm praying for you. You're not praying alone. I'm praying for you. Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday, I'm praying for you. I get up. I pray over your requests. Saturday, I might sleep an extra hour late if I can, if the kids don't have an early game, just to get a rest. But I get up and I pray and I sit and meditate because I am certainly believing that God's going to answer your prayer. Yes, I'm praying for them devils at your job too. Lord, they everywhere. The devil's really invading these jobs nowadays. But I'm praying for you. I'm praying for your situation and praying for everything concerning you, that God might continue to bless you and strengthen you in a special way. Listen, I want you to connect your hands like this as a sign of symbol of faith. If you've got a prayer request that you cannot type, you can email your prayer request to info@rehabcc.org. That's info@rehabcc.org. Put in the subject line prayer request, and you can send your prayer request in. It will get routed to my address, and we will certainly respond to your request. Listen, connect your hands like this as a sign of symbol of faith. Touch and agree with me right now. Let's pray. Father, in Jesus' name, I thank you tonight for your word. Thank you for this time of gathering you've given us. I pray that something was said or done that has challenged somebody, convicted somebody, encouraged somebody to be the best version of them that they can be, to be everything you call them to be and more. Help us, God, to embrace the beauty and the value and the power of being in a healthy headspace. In all things or concerning all things in our lives. God, we don't want to just praise you. We don't want to just be spiritually strong. We want to be mentally strong. We want to be emotionally strong. We want to be emotionally balanced. We don't want a life to overwhelm us and get the best of us, but we want to always be in control at all times and in all seasons by having the right mental frame and the right mental balance. Help us, God, to be mentally balanced, to be mentally framed the way we need to be, so that, God, we can be clear, so that we can operate in mental clarity and be everything that you called us to be. I pray now for every prayer request that's come across this line, that you would answer the prayers of your people, that you would make ways as only you can, that you would open doors as only you can, that you would meet needs as only you can. God, I lift these prayer requests up to you, and I ask that you would answer these prayers. You are the way maker. You're the miracle worker. You're the promise keeper. And so we trust you tonight, God, to answer these prayers. And as you are working it out for us, help us, God, position us to be faithful while we wait, to be patient, to be strong while we wait, knowing that you're working everything out for us, that just because we can't see it doesn't mean that we're not going to experience it. Help us to realize that the things that are working out of our sight are still working out for our good. We thank you for these things and count them done. In Jesus' name, amen. Do me a favor. I want you to type it in the comments really quickly. It is so. If you prayed that prayer of faith, I want you to type in the comments, it is so. It is so. Every time you say amen, you are simply saying it is so. Would you do me a favor? Type that in the comments now. It is so. It is so. It is so. God's answering your prayers. God is making ways for you. He's opening doors for you. He's meeting needs for you. And I'm so excited that you tuned in tonight. I'm so excited that you joined us tonight. And it is my prayer that this message has been a blessing to you. Really quickly, 30 seconds. I want to challenge you to give. This message, if this ministry has been a blessing to you, I want to challenge you to give tonight. You can give one of three ways. You can give your tithes, your offering, both, whatever you are desired to purpose to give tonight. You can give one of three ways. You can give via Cash App, $REHABCCGIVE. You can give on our website, www.rehabcc.org, and simply choose online giving. Or you can text REHABWORKS to 88202. That's REHABWORKS to 88202. And right to your cell phone, you'll get a prompt. You click on that prompt and you can give right from your cell phone. Again, Cash App, $REHABCCGIVE. Our website, www.rehabcc.org. Choose online giving. Or you can text REHABWORKS to 88202. In either one of those ways, you can give. And we promise you that if you give tonight, God will bless you in a tremendous way. Good measure, pressed down, shaking together, running over. He'll bless somebody to be a blessing to you because of the way you've given. And we are so grateful for your support tonight. Listen, I love you. I'm praying for you. I'm rooting for you. Do me a favor, like this video, share this video, subscribe to our channels, tag somebody, tell them to tune into this very powerful teaching tonight, and then make plans to meet us this Sunday, 9:08 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right here at the Rehab Christian Center. We'll have a very powerful word for you, as you can tell. And we're really excited to be able to share this word with you coming up on Sunday. Make plans to join us. Invite 5 people to virtual church on Sunday. And we promise you their life will be better because of your invitation. All right. I love you guys. I'm praying for you. I'm rooting for you. Got you out right before 9. I'm so proud of myself. But I love you. I'm praying for you. I'm rooting for you. I want you to have a fantastic week. And I will see you this Sunday at 9:08 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. Love you guys. Praying for you. Peace and blessings.
For watching the Rehab Christian Center live experience. If this broadcast has been a blessing to you and you would like to be a blessing to our leader, Dr. Zeb Talley III, you can sow a seed into his ministry by Cash App at $Pastor ZT3. It is our prayer that this message of hope encourage, enlighten, and empower you to be better. Please tune in Sunday at 9:08 a.m. for our Sunday morning experience. And as always, be blessed and have a wonderful week.